So today is a lovely rainy day in Calgary, and I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to just do some DIY projects around the house. The first project that I'm hoping to finish up today is actually reupholstering my ottoman. I showed this in one of my recent videos, but this is one of my favorite Facebook Marketplace finds. This ottoman is just so great because it fits perfectly into my sectional to make like one big sofa area. It's perfect for watching TV and movies and just snuggling up on the couch. My only issue with it at the moment, though, is I am getting just a little bit tired of the dark green color. I feel like I've really been pushing myself to introduce just more color throughout my home, more pattern, more texture. And so I just feel like this color isn't matching with all of the other colors that I've added to the space. It's also just not adding a pattern or any fun texture to the room either. So I saw a lot of different options online just looking through Pinterest or Instagram. I've even seen that you can purchase like Killam rug upholstered ottomans. So that's kind of what made me think of this project today. My initial thoughts when it came to redoing this ottoman here was actually covering it up with leather paint. Because it is a leather product, I thought this would actually be kind of the easiest way of giving it a new life. But I'll be honest, the paint that I ordered, it came in more of a gray color. Initially, I kind of wanted to paint it more of like a cream or a beige. So I purchased paint that was labeled as ivory, but honestly, it's quite gray, and I'm just looking to get away from gray in my home. I know I've got a gray sofa, so I really just wasn't looking to incorporate more of that color in the ottoman. But then online, when I saw some of these like Killam style ottomans, it really made me thinking that I could just reupholster this with a rug. In the past, I have actually thought about covering it up with fabric, and I have actually purchased some fabric for that idea. It's just the more I look at the fabric I bought, one, I don't love the colors or the patterns, and two, it's just not giving me the exact texture that I was looking for this ottoman. I think when I look at some of my other inspiration images online, it's usually just like a larger scale pattern or something that's a little bit more decorative, and generally the fabric just has a little bit more substance to it. So what got me thinking was if I purchased a large enough rug, I could actually just use that as the upholstery fabric. I'm hopeful that my staples are going to go through the rug and the ottoman and that it's all going to hold up. So who knows? I may have to make a trip to the hardware store to get some thicker staples, but I thought I would give it a try, and if it doesn't work out, I can always, again, go back to the paint or potentially find a different fabric to cover it up with. So initially, when I was looking for a rug for this project, I went to a store. It's called Bianca Amour's Liquidation Center here in Calgary. They have 2 locations. It is just a crazy store. You can get like just about anything there for a great bargain. I think because it is a liquidation center, it's just like blowout pricing. But I do find they've got some great rugs. Like you can actually find like wool rugs there. Some of the rugs, it's hit or miss. Like there are some crappy rugs there as well. But they actually have some pretty nice rugs for just like a steal of a deal. Like typically I would say a 5x7 there is around between $50 and $80. So in my opinion, for a rug that I'm going to be cutting up and using to upholster something, I just didn't want to be spending like over $100 on it. So yes, the first rug I found matched my inspiration images just a little bit better. The only thing is, in my mind, it just gave me the feeling of more of like a boho design, and I'm trying to get away from that in my home. I want it to feel just a little bit more eclectic, a little bit more English country, cottagecore even. So I just didn't want it to feel so bohemian. So anywho, I ended up going back today and returning it for a different rug. So this is the new rug. I just felt like with the rug that's in my dining room, I'm using that pretty much as my main inspiration for these 2 areas. I just think my dining room rug is incorporating all of the colors I'm looking to use in my space. So I didn't really want a different color going on the ottoman that was going to clash. The other thing is the pattern that's on my dining room rug is a little bit more of like a floral, organic feeling. So I really felt like if I was introducing a second large scale pattern in the space, I wanted it to be just a little bit more geometric. So they're not competing, they have kind of two different feelings. Now, the actual pattern on the rug is this one here. This pattern is just the outside of the rug, or I guess the underneath of the rug. But I am thinking I could really do either side. So I might just unwrap it, lay it out, and just see if I'd rather have kind of the tight woven side as the outside fabric, or if I do still want to keep more of that kind of soft texture on it. I'm not entirely sure which way I'll go. I'm also just like not entirely sure that this is going to work. So I'm going to give it a whirl. I'm going to unwrap it, and I'm just going to start this project, and we'll see if it goes off without a hitch or if I do have to go back to the drawing board. Who knows? That's the way home decor and DIYs go in my house. The other thing that I do love about this second rug that I found is it does have almost like a jute texture to it as well. Initially in this room, I wanted like a jute rug for the living room itself, but just based off of a lot of feedback I hear from people when it comes to a jute rug in their living room, it can sometimes feel like an outdoor rug and it doesn't feel super warm and comfortable. So I am happy to have a wool area rug for the floor in this room, but I was thinking since the Ottoman is just such a high traffic piece of furniture, I could incorporate that jute texture here. So I think incorporating it on the Ottoman is a great way to use that type of material, and it's just going to hold up a little bit better, I think, for a piece of furniture as opposed to using it in a large scale on my actual floor. So here's the actual rug pattern as the face up. I do think it coordinates really well with my dining room area rug over here. I don't think it's competing. And initially the reason I wanted the Ottoman to be just a lighter color is I wanted it to match my new dining room chairs. I just think that those were really nice to brighten the space and just kind of give a neutral color in here because I am trying to add just a few more tones throughout the space. So I do think these two work together really well. I'm just gonna flip it over and see what the other side looks like. Okay, here's the underside. I don't know, I'm torn. I actually think I prefer this side. I think the fact that it doesn't feel as much like an area rug when it's flipped over is what's drawing me to it. Again, I just think you get a little bit more of that like jute texture on this side. So yeah, I think this is gonna be the way I go. Even though it's a little bit darker, I just think it works a little bit better in the space. So the original rug that I actually picked out for this project was a little bit more of like a kilim style rug. And I do think the reason most people do the kilim rug is because it is so much thinner than just a typical rug. So I will say I knew going into this that this second rug was a little bit thicker and it might not be as easy to work with. which I will say is the case. So, anywho, you can kind of see these are my extra staples that didn't work out. I think I've done a pretty good job of stapling the two ends. So now I'm working on the sides, and I think this is the part that I was the most worried for because it involves cutting the rug to make the corners. So again, it's a pretty thick rug, and I only have one shot really to cut it. So, yeah, anyway, I'm stressed. I really don't want to screw it up. I feel like you get one shot at cutting the rug. So, anywho, we shall see if this works out. I'm going to use my pencil to draw lines on where I think the cut should be. I don't know. I'm going to measure twice and cut the one and only time. So, let's see if this works out. I am helping a friend of mine. She's actually my hairstylist, and she is moving into her own little like micro studio space. So today we're setting up all of her IKEA furniture. I kind of helped her out with finding a few different furniture pieces and just nailing down the layout for this space because it is just so teeny tiny. But yeah, I brought my husband Shane with me today. And all three of us are going to be working in here at just getting it all set up and ready to go for her. So I thought I would bring you along for the ride as well. And it's So Shane and I are en route to Heidi's new salon studio. Shane is actually going to be her first client in the new space. So I'm pretty pumped. I have seen pictures after she hung up some of the other shelves and things that she was installing. But yeah, everything's pretty much ready to go. She's ready to open for business. So we thought we would commemorate the experience by coming by and allowing Shane to be her first client in the new space. I'm super excited to show you guys how this space turned out.